Do you prefer cold or hot weather? I prefer hot weather. I'm already used to the heat and humidity, but honestly I prefer it when it's just a bit cooler, like the kind of weather we get in Saigon during the dry season or early winter. It's warm but more comfortable. I'm not a fan of cold weather because my hands and feet get stiff, and I hate wearing too many layers. Rainy days aren't great either. It's wet and messy, and going out, especially on a motorbike, is a hassle.
Does the weather ever affect what you do? Yes, definitely. Since I work in real estate, I often need to meet clients and take them to see properties. When it's rainy or stormy, it becomes more difficult. People cancel appointments, and it's hard to travel around the city on a motorbike. I live in the south of Vietnam where it's usually hot and humid, so I'm used to that, but the rainy season is always a bit inconvenient for my job. Do you get in the habit of checking the weather forecast? Yes, especially during the rainy season, because I work in real estate. I often have to go out to meet clients or show them around. If I know it's going to rain, I can reschedule or bring a raincoat. Living in the south of Vietnam, the weather can change quickly, so checking the forecast helps me avoid getting caught in a sudden downpour. Have you ever experienced extreme weather? Yes, I have. I grew up in Hue Giang, in the south of Vietnam, where flooding sometimes happens during the rainy season. I remember one year, the water was so high that my family had to move our furniture up to keep it dry. It wasn't dangerous, but it was really inconvenient. Since then, I always pay attention to the weather, especially during storms.
Describe an important lesson you learned, not in school or college.
One valuable lesson I've learned outside of school is how to control my emotions, especially in stressful situations. Working in real estate, I often deal with clients who are unsure, change their minds many times, or suddenly cancel meetings. At the beginning, I used to take things personally and feel really upset. But I slowly realized that staying calm and professional is much more effective. I remember one case when a client backed out right before signing, after I had spent weeks preparing everything. I was frustrated, of course, but instead of reacting emotionally, I took a deep breath, followed up politely, and gave her space. A few days later, she came back and apologized. And in the end, she bought the property. That experience taught me that patience and emotional control are just as important as knowledge or skills. This lesson helps me not only at work, but also in my personal life. Like when I argue with my husband or deal with family stuff. I think it's something school can't really teach you. 1. What lessons can people learn from their mistakes? I think people can learn a lot from their mistakes, especially how to avoid repeating them in the future. For example, in my job as a real estate agent, if I forget to confirm an appointment with a client and they don't show up, I'll remember to double-check next time. Mistakes might feel bad at the moment, but they help us grow and become more careful. 2. Do you think it's better to learn from personal experience or from advice? Sample answer.